All right, you beautiful motherfuckers, welcome to the deep dive. This shit's for the grown-ups, the heads, you know. The folks who ain't afraid of a little fuck here and a little motherfucker there. We are diving deep into the Grateful Dead. And let me tell you, it is a fucking trip, man. They weren't just a band. They were a cultural phenomenon, a marketing machine, a community unlike any other. So buckle up, grab your goddamn drink, and get ready to have your mind blown.
You know what's wild to me? Is how the Dead just said, fuck you, to the whole music industry playbook.
Oh yeah, explain that. How'd they do it differently? Most bands back then were all about just pumping out albums, right? Tours were just a way to shill the latest record.
Yeah, exactly. Tours were seen as a way to drive those album sales, put out a record, play the hits rake in the cash. That was the game.
But the Dead, those crazy motherfuckers, they flipped the script.
They sure as hell did. For them, touring was the main event. The cash cow. Albums were almost an afterthought.
So instead of playing the same set list every night like a bunch of goddamn robots,
yeah,
they mixed that shit up, kept the fans guessing, made every show unique.
Totally. That's what kept people coming back for more. Night after night, tour after tour. They understood the power of experience, of giving fans something new and unexpected every single time.
It's like Netflix versus Blockbuster, right? You blow up the old model, give the people what they actually want, and you win.
Bingo. The Dead were disruptors. They were innovators. They understood that fans craved something real, something more than just the same old tired bullshit. They tapped into that hunger and they built a movement around it.
Speaking of real, let's talk about that name, man. Grateful Dead. It's fucking iconic, right?
Totally. It's weird. It's evocative. It sticks in your brain like a bad acid trip. You hear it once and you never forget it.
But it's not just some random-ass name.
Right.
Like in this day and age, your name has to be findable online. If Google can't find your shit, you're fucked.
Oh, you're preaching to the choir. Your name is your online identity. But even before the internet, the Dead understood that. Their name created a vibe, an aura, that perfectly captured their music and their whole ethos.
And it's not just about being catchy. You think about HubSpot. I mean, they nailed it. They're the hub, the central point for all things marketing. Yeah. Or your own story, man. Using Meerman to set yourself apart from all the other David Scotts out there. That's fucking brilliant.
It's all about strategy. Your name needs to be memorable, relevant, and unique. It's the foundation of your brand.
And another thing that made the Dead so goddamn unique, their diversity. They weren't just a bunch of dudes who could play their instruments. They were a motley crew of motherfuckers. With different backgrounds, different influences, different styles.
Absolutely. That diversity is what gave them their signature sound. You had Jerry Garcia with his blues roots, Phil Lesh with his classical training, Bob Weir coming in as a teenager with his own unique energy. It was a melting pot of musical ideas.
And that's a lesson for any team, man, especially in the marketing world. You need a mix of skills and perspectives. You need your data geeks, your creative weirdos, your social media gurus.
Yeah, diversity breeds innovation. When you bring together different viewpoints, different approaches, you create something truly special. And the Dead were living proof of that.
And they were real men. Authentic as fuck. They weren't afraid to show their flaws, to admit when they were struggling. Their newsletters even talked about their financial woes. That's some real talk right there.
That transparency was huge. It made them relatable, human. It created a bond with their fans that went beyond just the music.
I think people are just sick of the bullshit, man.
Oh, yeah.
The fake news, the PR spin, the carefully crafted image. They want the truth, warts and all.
Honesty builds trust. And trust is the foundation of any lasting relationship, whether it's between a band and its fans or a company and its customers.
Think about Salesforce. When they had those early system outages, they didn't try to hide it. They owned up to it. They created that Trust Salesforce website to be totally transparent. And you know what? It actually strengthened their reputation.
It's counterintuitive, but admitting your fuck-ups, it can actually make you more trustworthy. It shows you're human. You make mistakes, but you're willing to learn from them. And that's something the Dead instinctively understood.
And then there's the whole experimentation thing. The Dead were constantly jamming, improvising, pushing the boundaries of their music. That unpredictability was a huge part of their appeal.
Experimentation is crucial. For any creative endeavor, you gotta be willing to try new things, to break the rules, to see what happens when you push the envelope, especially in the marketing world, where everything is constantly evolving.
Like Dropbox, right?
Yeah.
They blew a ton of cash on traditional marketing, and it was a total flop. But they didn't give up. They experimented with referrals, and boom, their user base exploded.
It's all about learning from your failures, adapting and finding what works. Sometimes the biggest breakthroughs come from the biggest fuck-ups.
And speaking of breakthroughs, let's talk about the Dead's tech game. These motherfuckers weren't just musicians. They were tech pioneers. I mean, the wall of sound back in the 70s, that shit was revolutionary.
They were ahead of their time. They saw the potential of technology to enhance the musical experience, to create something truly immersive and unforgettable.
Which is more than you can say for some companies today. I mean, goddamn Department of Defense is embracing social media. If those guys can get with the times, what the fuck is everyone else's excuse?
It's wild, right? And the DoD understands that social media is where people are. Blocking it is just sticking your head in the sand. Your employees, your customers, they're all using it. You got to adapt or die.
And then there's the whole category king thing. The Dead didn't fit neatly into any genre, so their fans just created a new one, jam band. They've ruled that category ever since.
That's a powerful lesson for any business. Don't be afraid to carve out your own niche. It's better to be a big fish in a small pond than to get lost in a sea of sameness.
Combinator is a great example. They disrupted the investment world by doing things differently, created their own category, their own set of rules.
And became a powerhouse. It's about breaking the mold, challenging the status quo. The Dead were masters of that. They didn't follow the rules, they made their own. And let's not forget the Deadheads, man. Those motherfuckers were a breed apart.
Oh, hell yeah. They attracted this whole tribe of eccentrics. The freaks, the geeks, the misfits. It was like a giant middle finger to the mainstream.
And that sense of community, that sense of belonging, it was a huge part of the Dead's appeal. People weren't just going to concerts. They were joining a tribe, a family.
It's like finding your people, right? The ones who get you. The ones who don't judge you for being a little bit different.
And that's something businesses can learn from big time. It's about finding your niche. Those people who truly connect with your brand on a deeper level, cultivate that community, make them feel valued, like they're part of something special.
Like Apple, right? They built a whole empire on the idea of being different, of standing out for the crowd. Their shit is expensive as fuck, but people buy it because it makes them feel like they're part of an exclusive club.
Exactly. It's about creating a sense of belonging, of being part of something bigger than yourself. The Dead understood that, man. They didn't just have fans, they had a movement.
And that movement was built on Dead Freaks Unite. That little notice in their 1971 album, it was their own, DIY database. Before databases were even a thing. Fucking brilliant.
It was a stroke of genius. They gave their fans a way to connect, to stay informed, to be part of the inner circle. And it was all organic, driven by the fans themselves.
Talk about empowering your audience. The Deadheads weren't just passive consumers. They were active participants in shaping the whole experience.
That's a lesson a lot of brands could learn today. Let go of the control. Trust your audience. Give them the tools to create their own experiences.
Like Burton Snowboards, man. They're all about community. They empower their riders. They listen to their feedback. They create products that meet their needs. And it's made them the kings of the snowboarding world.
It's all about passion. The Dead were passionate about their music. And their fans were passionate about the Dead. That shared passion created a bond that was unbreakable.
And that passion was reflected in every fucking thing they did, even their ticketing system. No Ticketmaster bullshit for these guys. They had their own system. And the best seats went to the loyal motherfuckers who took the time to mail in their requests.
It was a way of rewarding their dedicated fans, of making them feel special. Sure, it was a pain in the ass to mail in a request, but when you got those front row tickets, it was like winning the lottery.
It's the complete opposite of how so many companies treat their loyal customers today. You're loyal? Here's some shitty service and a price hike. Fuck you.
It's fucked up, man. Loyalty is the lifeblood of any successful business. But so many companies just take it for granted.
Even Obama's 2008 campaign got it right. They shared big news with their supporters first. Before the media, before anyone else. It was a way of saying, you're important to us. We value your support.
It's about respect, man. Showing your audience that you appreciate them, that you value their loyalty. The Dead understood that. They knew their fans were the heart and soul of their success.
And they were smart about building that following, even way back in the day. They were meticulously collecting names at shows, sending out personalized newsletters, keeping those lines of communication open. Old school relationship marketing at its finest.
They were ahead of the curve. They understood the power of direct communication, of building personal connections with their audience. And that's even more important in today's digital world.
Yeah, it's not just about email anymore. It's about Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. All the different ways you can reach your audience. You got to build a multifaceted network, a symphony of reach.
Exactly. Meet your audience where they are. Give them value. Build relationships.
Like HubSpot did with their website, Greater. Free tool, valuable insights. Massive audience growth. Give to get motherfuckers.
And the Dead were all about giving, especially when it came to their music. They encouraged fans to tape their shows, even set up dedicated taper sections, basically said, Here's our music, share it with the world.
Which seems kind of crazy, right? Giving away your product for free.
But it was a genius move. It was the ultimate word-of-mouth marketing. Spread the music far and wide, create a legion of evangelists.
Like MySQL. They offer their software for free, built a massive user base, then upsold them on premium services. Freemium model, baby. It works.
It's about removing barriers, making it easy for people to experience your product or service, then give them the option to upgrade if they want more.
And the Dead did that too. They offered official, high-quality recordings alongside the free fan-made tapes. And guess what? People bought them.
Because they understood the value proposition. Even when something is free, people are willing to pay for a premium experience.
It's like Kindle. The app is free, gets you hooked. Then you're happy to shell out for the premium device. And the Dead were all about cutting out the leeches, the middlemen who were sucking the profits out of the music industry. They bypassed Ticketmaster, licensed their fans to sell merch, took control of their own destiny. Rebels, man.
They didn't play by the rules. They made their own rules, and that's what made them so successful.
Any business stuck in the old ways of doing things could learn a thing or two from the Dead, shake things up, challenge the status quo, cut out the bullshit.
The internet makes it easier than ever to connect directly with your customers, build your own platform, control your brand.
And the Dead were masters of brand flexibility. Their visual identity was constantly evolving, always playful, always resonating with their anti-establishment fan base.
They weren't afraid to experiment, to let their brand evolve organically.
A lot of companies get so caught up in, brand protection that they end up stifling creativity and innovation. A little flexibility can make your brand more human, more relatable.
Like Google Doodles, playful variations on their logo, building brand personality without sacrificing recognition.
And the Dead were all about partnerships. They embraced the entrepreneurial spirit of their fans, let them sell merch in the parking lot.
Yeah.
Created a vibrant community that benefited everyone.
It's a win-win. Fans make money, the band gets more reach and exposure, everyone's happy.
Like Amazon's affiliate program, turning potential competitors into a powerful sales force.
It's about collaboration, working together to achieve common goals.
And let's not forget about giving back. The Dead were all about supporting causes they believed in. Benefit concerts, raising awareness, putting their money where their mouths were.
It wasn't just good karma, it was good business. It showed their fans that they were more than just a band, they were a force for good.
Any company can do that. Find a cause that aligns with your values. Make a real commitment.
Like the Ronald McDonald House charities, supporting families of sick children for decades. It makes sense for their brand, and it's something their customers can get behind.
And at the end of the day, it all comes down to doing what you love. The Dead were passionate about their music, and it showed in everything they did.
That passion was infectious. It drew people in, created a loyal following, built a legacy that continues to this day.
They weren't just playing music, they were living their dream.
And that's the ultimate marketing lesson. When you're doing what you love, it shows, and people are drawn to that authenticity, that passion, that fire in your belly.
Like Bill Gates, man. Dropped out of fucking Harvard to chase his computer dreams. Built Microsoft into a goddamn empire, and now he's out there trying to save the world with his billions. Passion, man. It's a hell of a drug.
It's inspiring as fuck, right? The Dead Gates, all these people who dared to dream big and then went out and made that shit happen. It's proof that you can achieve anything if you're willing to put your heart and soul into it.
Holy shit, that was a trip, right?
Yeah.
We just dove headfirst into the deep end of the Grateful Dead pool. And let me tell you, the water's pretty fucking deep. Who knew a bunch of tie-dye wearing hippies could be such marketing masterminds?
They're disruptors, innovators, pioneers. They broke all the rules, forged their own path, and left behind a legacy that's still inspiring people today.
So what does this all mean for you, dear listener? What can you take away from this deep dive into the heart of the Grateful Dead phenomenon? What can you apply to your own work, your own life, your own pursuit of awesomeness?
The Dead showed us that it's okay to be different, to challenge the status quo, to break the goddamn mold. They taught us the power of community, of authenticity, of giving back. They proved that success isn't just about making money. It's about making a difference.
They lived their values, man. Freedom, creativity, community was all baked into their DNA.
And that's what made them so special. That's why their music still resonates with people today. It's more than just music. It's a way of life, a philosophy, a giant fuck you to the establishment.
So go out there, you beautiful motherfuckers, and find your own Grateful Dead. Find that thing that sets your soul on fire, that makes you want to dance like nobody's watching, that makes you want to change the fucking world.
Because if a band known for psychedelic jams and epic drum solos can become marketing icons, then anything is goddamn possible.
Damn right. Now go put on some Dead tunes, crank that shit up, and let those insights sink in. And remember, this was an adults-only deep dive, so feel free to light up, pour yourself a drink, and get your groove on. Stay groovy, you magnificent bastards, and we'll catch you on the flip side. Peace out.